to me, the most important thing is not to have the data. Everybody has the data. Everybody knows what's happening in the world today and what happened yesterday. To me, the most important thing is to sit and say, what does it mean? Figure out the import of the things that are happening, the implications. I am not highly data-driven compared to other people, but rather I'm driven by this idea of figuring out where we stand in the cycle, taking the temperature of the market. I put out a memo in roughly July of 23 called Taking the Temperature. And I say that there were, as I mentioned with my conversation with Andrew, there were 5 times in my career that I took contrarian stands on the market. They were essentially not data-driven. For example, I was very concerned about the conditions heading into what turned out to be the global financial crisis. Now, it was caused by the housing bubble and especially the subprime mortgages and mortgage-backed securities. I had no idea about subprime. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know much about mortgage-backed securities. I only knew that the markets were acting in a carefree, non-risk conscious manner, which to me is the most dangerous thing. I would call myself an observer. And I just try to critically observe what's going on around me.
Now, Howard, you are, let's say now you are 20, 25, you are studying business and you want to plan a life in finance. How do you go about this? What is your advice to young people who are interested in this field?
My most important advice is this. Due to the prevalence of randomness in the financial world, you can't be an investor satisfactorily if you have to be right all the time. There's a book called Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and he contrasts investing against dentistry. He says if you go to dental school and you learn to fill a cavity and you fill it that way every time, you'll be successful every time. There's nothing you can do in investing that will make you successful every time. If you're right 60% or 70% of the time, you'll be the smartest man in the world. So if you're the kind of person who has to be right all the time, don't become an investor. No. But investing is a great puzzle with many, many considerations that have to be peeled like an onion. And if you like responding to an intellectual puzzle and you can stand the ups and downs and the vagaries of being wrong, I think it's a great area. But you have to equip yourself philosophically to do it, and then you have to have an apprenticeship in which you learn from somebody else who knows how to do it.
Howard Marks believes that great investing does not come from guessing. It comes from sharp observation. He emphasizes that closely studying markets and other investors give you an edge that you can't simply develop in isolation. By watching how others think, react, and succeed or fail, you accelerate your own learning curve. But he also believes that even with deep observation, he wants that investing is never about being right all the time. Markets are complex, unpredictable, and often behave like a puzzle with missing pieces. You will make mistakes, and that's a part of the game. What truly matters is being right when it counts the most. A few big wins can outweigh multiple small errors. This is why patience, discipline, and pattern recognition are so important and powerful. Marx highlights that investing success is less about perfection and more about asymmetry, limited downside while maximizing the upside. If you can combine observation with thoughtful action, you put the odds in your favor. So in the long run, it's not about how often you are right. It's about how much you make when you are.